Alright, fuck it. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. This is episode 23, Aydan. Somehow we've made it this far. How are you doing?
Podcast is older than us.
This podcast is old.
If those were years. If
Do you know
we
what?
did one
That's
episode
very
every
true
year.
now. If we did one episode every year, which is pretty much what we're up to now,
Yeah.
then you get to our age. So I am your host, Adam. Also got an Instagram page at Cancelling Culture, as well as a YouTube channel. And this is my lovely friend Aydan, and we talk about all sorts, to be honest. So tell your friends about us. So this week we decided, Aydan, what did we decide we were going to talk about?
We decided today should be a commemoration of badass people.
Yeah, so basically a collection of badass people. Aydan, why don't you bring your mic up so you don't have to slump in every time you talk?
I like the idea of leaning into the conversation. It's like I'm engaging, you know.
Okay, we should probably close that window.
Plus, I kind of... Oh, yeah, we probably should. Plus, I can't move it any further.
Do you want to close the window?
Yeah, sure.
Right, we'll just do that. Right, so like Aydan said, we are going to talk about badass people. Now, Aydan, I have put together a little bit of a list. Just a basic one that I ripped from the internet. I can't remember what website it was I ripped it from. So we're gonna go through. Aydan's finally coming back now. If you're listening to this, you can watch the videos of it on YouTube at Cancelling Culture. Okay, so so I've got a list. Should we do real life people or movie? I think we should do real life people first.
Yeah, I have honourable mentions for both lists that no one will think about.
Okay, right. Well, we shall go through the list and then we can talk about them. So,
okay.
Excuse my pronunciations of a lot of these names. Ching Shi. Right.
Yeah.
What do you reckon their story is from the name? From just that, you know, Ching Shi. What does that sound like?
No, because this is a trap.
No, it's not a trap. It's
Ching Shi.
Yeah. Okay. Man or woman?
Woman?
Yes.
And I'm gonna go with the first Asian warrior who was a woman. It's basically the plot.
It's not Mulan. No.
Damn it.
Okay. So, she was a Chinese prostitute who married a pirate and took over his fleet when he died. So basically, she became a Chinese pirate.
Yeah.
She ran her ships with an iron fist and took no shit. She was so successful to the point that the Chinese government sent out an armada to stop her. She kicked their asses and captured 63 of their ships. They fought for 2 years and even brought the Dutch and the British ships into it before they gave up and offered amnesty to her and all of her. She had 17,000 crewmen.
Yeah, but that's
a fucking army.
What age was this? You know, when was this? Because you're not doing that nowadays.
No. Well, I imagine it was the the pirate time. 1700s.
The pirate time.
You know what I mean? That sort of time. Let me Google it. What year does it say it is?
Yeah, Ching Shi actually had a second.
1775.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, she was born in 1775. So 1801 is when she.
Yeah, she had a second nickname.
Yeah, Xing Hai Sao. She actually did.
Yeah, but that's not the one I was talking about. She was actually known as Redbeard. But she didn't have no beard.
She didn't have no beard. Yeah. So where's the redness coming from? Okay, so the next.
Let's just say when you plunder her booty, though.
Fucking hell, Aydan. Yeah. That makes.
Get haunted by the ghosts of Asian pirate women. Death by snoosh snoosh.
Death by snoosh snoosh.
I'm glad I didn't go with my initial story. I would have come off bad.
Imagine if you had a ghost that was a little Asian woman and she is would constantly have a go at you.
Could you tell
you haven't done your laundry properly?
Could you tell the race of a spirit that's haunting you? Because I don't reckon you could.
Well, I'm talking if it was full on talking to you and it's hanging out, you can see it.
There's only one way you can figure out if a well, you talking like Like, the ghost that does the pottery. Like, you're talking about the Patrick Swayze kind of ghost.
Yeah, I am. What the fuck?
I was thinking of, like, the Paranormal Activity kind of ghost.
The Paranormal Activity kind of ghost?
Yeah,
okay, so
the
just
poltergeist
the poltergeist. Yeah, okay, right.
And I was thinking there's only one way to find out if it's Asian.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be really good when it starts playing the piano.
Yeah. Just put out some, like, maths equations. See if they get solved. Just like, I'll leave these fractions.
Put the rice in the colander, and if shit goes flying.
You just gotta, yeah. I mean, maybe you can set out loads of cats and dogs and see if they disappear in the night.
Oh my god.
Okay, moving on from Ching Sai.
Ching He.
Okay, so the next one is Jack Churchill. Where do you think Jack Churchill is from?
It's either America or England.
Okay, well, which one is it?
England.
Yeah, it is. Now, what do you think Jack Churchill's story is?
He was abused by his father Winston for so long.
No, no, it's not. Oh, so the fucking...
Is it a Marine who got his face set on fire?
No.
Okay.
It's not a Marine. Is there a Marine who gets it?
I vaguely remember a story.
Dive in the water, private!
I don't think it's like a badass story. I think it's like,
okay. Well, okay. Jack Churchill was a World War II commander who served in a distinction in the number of theatres. His exploits earned him the Military Cross. He was also known as Mad Jack by his men and his fellow officers for his ferociousness in combat. Unlike his more conventional peers, his weapons of choice were not the British firearms of the period, but instead he'd rush into combat using a fucking longbow, a sword, and his trusty bagpipes.
There's always one guy on the COD lobby.
Yeah, I know, right? Is that when that new skin comes out, you know?
One that goes around with melee weapons.
Yeah, there's always one, isn't it? Anyway, so in 1943, him and a corporal infiltrated a German-held town in Sicily, capturing 42 men and a mortar position with only his bagpipes, a sword, and a bow.
Wait, he brought the bagpipes into the field?
Yeah, he'd like... whatever, you know?
Bro, do you know why that's badass?
Why is that badass?
Because if you're playing the bagpipes everyone's gonna aim at you. They want you dead.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, but anyway, so when the war ended in 1945 after the droppings of Nagasaki and Hiroshima bombs, he was extremely disappointed and was quoted as saying, "If it wasn't for those darn Yanks, we could have kept that war going another 10 years."
That's not badass.
That's not badass. I read that earlier. Like I was like, I don't like a cool guy. Like I was with him. Like
I was
don't know about that. I don't know about that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we saying badass or not? Should we have a little rating for this thing? I think we should.
It's like he's badass, but like in the sense of like a bad guy badass. You know?
Okay, like a Joker.
Yeah, like how you think like Gus is badass.
I think this guy I think he's the guy who fucking started one of the guys in the SAS. No, he wasn't. No, that was a different guy. No, never mind. Okay, and we're back. Right, why's my mic so fucking low?
Why is there a square on your face?
Technical difficulties, because it's trying to focus on you. I don't know why it needs to just be all. Anyway. It is what it is. Welcome back. I'm sorry about the interruption there. We just had some we had a beer delivery, so now we're back. So we are currently looking at badass people. Where did we get up to?
We passed Ching Shi.
Yeah.
We passed Jack Churchill.
Yeah.
And
hang on.
We were about to add in a new rating system after we've already done 3.
Okay.
We think on the spot here on our toes.
We do think on the spot on the toes. Sorry, I was just doing something, just covering my arse. Okay, right. Okay, we're back. Okay, so we've done Jack Churchill. Now we're on to... Okay, you got to bear with me on this one. It is Kuntulan. Kuntulan.
Oh, that guy. Oh, right, yeah. It's Mongolian, so it's probably something like...
Kuntulan.
Kutul.
Kutulang.
Cuttlefish.
Cuttlefish.
I'm sorry, go.
I'm sorry, guys, you're gonna be too delicious. Okay, so Cthulhu is a Mongolian princess who insisted that any man...
It's a princess. It's probably not Cthulhu.
Hey, it probably is. It's Mongolian.
Like, Cthulhu.
Cthulhu, konniwa. Cthulhu.
Alright, what is bitch do?
No, so this bitch, basically anybody who wanted to marry her, hang on, I fucking lost it.
Had to win and hand-to-hand combat.
No, not in hand-to-hand combat. Maybe actually.
That'd be fucking...
Oh my god, no, it definitely got too long. This Mongolian princess insisted that any man who wished to marry her must defeat her in wrestling.
So I was right!
Forfeiting to horses to her if they lose. She gained 10,000 horses defeating prospective suitors.
No fucking way, how did she feed them? Did she feed them the men that failed?
I have a feeling that her name is Cthulhu. She had a lot of facial hair.
I bet she was
huge,
fucking jacked. You pick wrestling out of all of them as well.
I like that.
It's a grapple sport.
So she did it to over 10,000 people, or maybe multiple people have multiple horses or something like that.
I think it was her dad's idea.
Yeah, maybe. No, maybe.
Or did she just really not? I mean,
she must be really good at wrestling.
Either that,
how old is
or Mongolians are just really bad at wrestling.
How recent was this? Because how recent was it? How recent is
2017?
Yeah. How recent is wrestling? Is that
wrestling has been around
Mongolian WWE 16th century. Again. Okay, speaking of Mongolia, the next one.
Yeah.
He's the man himself, Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan.
Yeah, he's on here. And there's a quote.
Yeah, it makes sense. He did kind of kill a third of the population of the world.
So, there's a quote here. I am the punishment of God, and if you have not committed great sins, God would have not sent a punishment like me to you. But it was probably a little bit money.
That's the most badass thing I've ever heard.
God, that was the most badass thing.
He must have a small cock.
I mean, he most, what is it? It is 1/3. He killed it.
Think about it. Most of the people he fucked were in Asia, right?
Yeah.
Asians are known for having a small cock.
Okay.
He's the one that gave him that gene. He's the one who did it.
You know what? You're on something.
Do you
know what?
And he's got small penis syndrome. That's why he came in and raped everyone. Because, bro.
All the pieces are coming together for Aydan tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
All the penises are coming together.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, Genghis Khan. I mean, yeah, he's pretty badass, but I don't know why he's on here. Right?
He's so badass that every villain in the Mortal Kombat universe has Khan after their name.
Okay, I've got there's Tank Man on here.
Tank Man.
This is
the guy of Fury.
No, Tiananmen Square. You know when he's standing.
You're talking about Brad Pitt.
You know when he's standing in front.
We're gonna hold the line.
Not fucking Brad, but what's his name in that?
I forgot his name.
Red.
Nah, it's Shawshank.
Cliff Booth is his name in Once Upon a Time.
Yeah. Sergeant Jackson.
Jackson. Nah, it couldn't have been. Anyway, so yeah, that's just the one where he's he's standing in front of the tank.
Yeah.
You know that famous photo?
Yeah.
That guy in the square.
Yeah.
In Vietnam.
The fucking cool guy.
And then there's Rasputin.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, anyone who builds up an immunity to poison is fucking cool.
Yeah, so I've always liked Rasputin because he's cool because he was drugging the.
I don't like him, but don't agree with his practice.
No, but he was fucked up. He'd have sex with everybody. He made people have sex with each other and
You like the young boys.
He did like the young boys.
Young
didn't he?
boys scurry to Rasputin to get violated by my poisons. Came all the way to Russia to see me. Hong Kong, Tokyo.
Watch out, I'm coming. Oh my God! Right, okay. No, should we move on from that? That was horrible. I don't want to talk about that anymore. So, Christopher Lee,
Count
Dooku himself, Sauron.
Oh, right, yeah.
No, not Saruman,
he is
Saruman.
badass. He is badass. He's a vet.
So, Christopher Lee worked on military intelligence during World War II, and the character for James Bond is supposedly based on him because Ian Fleming, the writer, was his cousin. Which is pretty cool. So, in his war service, Lee spent time in the Gherkins of the 8th Indian Infantry Division during the Battle of Monte Cassino? Monte Cassino? What the fuck is that?
Monte Cristo.
No, it's not Monte Cristo, but it should be. They spent time in casinos making millions. It was the regular team.
The plan was simple. Get in, get the money, get out.
While spending some time on leave in Naples, Lee climbed Mount Vesuvius.
Vesuvius.
Is it?
Mount Vesuvius?
I think it is Mount Vesuvius. Yeah. Mount Vesuvius, which erupted 3 days later during the final assault of Monte Cassino. Is it Casino?
Where is it?
Casino. Monte Cassino.
I don't know.
Monte Cassino,
and I'm out of my league.
The squadron was based in San Angelico, and Lee was nearly killed when one of his planes crashed on takeoff, and he tripped over on a live bomb. What the fuck?
Holy shit!
So he was nearly killed when one of his planes crashed on takeoff, and he tripped over one of its live bombs.
I heard about the plane crash on takeoff.
That's fucking mad.
It was Aragon's guy was talking about it.
Yeah. Is that when he kicked the thing and broke his foot?
Yeah, but they were talking about how badass Christopher Lee is, and he was like, he was telling us like how it should sound when someone gets stabbed in the back, because when he gets stabbed by Grima Wormtongue, and he was like, you should let out a scream, and the guy's like, you don't scream upon being stabbed in the back, because all the air like escapes your lungs.
Yeah.
So it's like a gasp. It's like Christopher fucking Lee. If some man told you that, like, dead in the eyes, you'd fuck. Shit, man.
Like, this is what it sounds like when a man dies. Alright, man, we're all just acting here. Chill out.
Alright, I can't wait to friends. My first honourable mentions have to be real people.
Okay, right. We'll get through this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna move past some of these. Like fucking Anne Boleyn.
Anne Boleyn?
Yeah, apparently she's on here.
What,
should I read
Henry VIII's wife?
Yeah, should I read a bit? I'm curious now, because why is she?
Wasn't she the ugly one that you let live? Because she was
manipulated
ugly.
an infamous king into turning away from his beloved religion, killed his supporters who objected, and broke with his church to marry. She usually is seen conniving, a witch and evil, and in a male-dominated world, she cut out her own path and went from a lowborn to the Queen of England. I feel, is that true?
I swear she was already royalty in France.
Isn't she black now as well?
That's just a recent trend.
That was yeah. No, let's move on for that. Okay, so
I don't know if it's propaganda, but in school I was taught that Anne Boleyn was the ugly wife out of the 8.
Divorce beheaded. It's
probably propaganda because
something like that.
Independent, strong woman, you gotta put them down.
I don't know, something like that. Anyway, right. Okay, so we've got Albert Hard Jacker. What do you reckon his story is?
He's the guy who invented the jackhammer. Because that guy's pretty fucking badass.
Yeah. Honey, I made a better drill.
It's called a pneumatic drill.
It's gonna change the world, baby. And then the wife saw it and turned into the first vibrator. True story. So, Albert Hard Jacker. Alright, that's his nickname. Hard.
Albert Jacks Hard.
So his name is Albert Jacker. On the morning of the 7th August 1916. So it's World War One.
Yep.
After a night of heavy shelling, the Germans began to overrun a portion of the line which included Jacker's dugout. Jacker had just completed a reconnaissance and had just gone to his dugout when 2 Germans appeared in its entrance and rolled a bomb down the doorway, killing 2 of his men. Emerging from the dugout when hang on, I lost myself. Emerging from the dugout, Jacker came upon a large number of Germans, rounding up somewhat 40 Australians as prisoners. Only 7 of the men from his platoon had recovered from the blast. Rallying these few, he charged at the enemy. Heavy hand-to-hand combat ensued, and as the Australian prisoners turned on their captors, every member of the platoon was wounded, including Jacker, who was wounded 7 times, including a bullet and 2 head wounds. 50 Germans were captured and the line was taken. Jacker was personally credited with killing between 12 and 20 Germans during the engagement.
Yeah, that's fucking...
So pretty much with his hands...
play of the game.
he brutally murdered like 20
of the game.
So it's really hard to do this when you haven't read them. I should really read them before I do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm a pretty good reader.
You can read some of these if you want.
I'll do the characters.
You do the characters.
I've still got honourable mentions for both lists. I hope you're prepared for the characters though. That's when the list goes off.
Right, I'll do this one that seems a little bit interesting. Michael Malloy.
See, the real Halloween guy?
No. Right, Michael Malloy was a homeless alcoholic man. 5 men took out a life insurance policy on him and tried to get him to drink himself to death by giving him an unlimited credit at a bar.
He drunk everyone in that bar.
Imagine that, like 5 guys are like, yeah, come to our bar.
Yeah.
You know, have free alcohol on us. And then they're actually like trying to kill you because they've got life insurance out on you. But it wasn't working fast enough because he was a bit of an alcoholic and had a high tolerance. So they started putting antifreeze in his drink and turpentine and then horse tranquilizer. Finally, rat poison, and none of them killed him.
That sounds like me, to be honest.
That guy is...
I reckon I can do that.
So, the men then tried to feeding him raw oysters with wood alcohol and poisoned soiled sardine sandwiches filled with carpet nails. What? Again, none of this worked. And as they waited for him to pass out drunk one night...
carpet nails?
Yeah,
and the guy's like... Oh, thanks, guys. Cheers. Let's give me a little bit of indigestion, boys.
Guys, I just heard the maddest shit.
He runs to the toilet like, oh, fine. They walk in there and he's just like fucking had the worst shit of his life.
Oh, boys, I don't know what fucking sauce you put in that.
You had a spiky shit.
Oh, boys, you didn't use real butter. I need marmite. I need marmalade. What is it? Not marmalade. Margarine.
And then they do this, find out he's got an allergy to peanuts. Fuck. He could have had him in seconds.
So, they tried feeding him carpet nails, and none of these worked, so they waited for him to pass out drunk one night, and then they dragged his body out into the -26 night. Where the fuck are they living? -26. I suppose I think this is American.
Russia.
This is because this is Celsius, not Fahrenheit.
This is Boris from Russia. Who else drinks carpet nails? This is Boris from Russia.
No, this is Michael Malloy or whatever.
That was just
so, and then they poured 20 litres of water on him for good measure. The next day, Malloy came into the bar.
Hypothermia.
Yeah, and the next day, Malloy just came and waltzed into the bar.
Being behind the bar, you just see this man walk in after all you've done to him.
Yeah.
Bro, I bet they were fucking frustrated.
So, the group then ran him over with his car at 70 kilometers an hour, and this hospitalized him for a few weeks, but yet again, it didn't kill him. Eventually, they succeeded by putting a gas pipe down his throat and passed out drunk, of course, and started pumping gas into him for an hour.
Wait, so at no point do you reckon like Michael Malloy was like something suspicious? I've been hanging out with you guys for a week. It's like shit's going
I thought
down.
you guys were my friends. Alright, and something doesn't seem up. Alright, you keep meeting without me, and then
for some reason I just taste weird tastes. I can't get this fucking metallic taste out of my mouth.
I'm feeling really ill as well, like, you know, like I've been outside a lot, you know.
Like, I was homeless for 7 years and I've never felt worse in my life. I felt better being homeless.
4 out of the 5 got their death penalty.
The death penalty?
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is kind of brutal, but yes, it's
they gave Michael Malloy the death penalty. It wouldn't have worked. It's done lethal injection, just nothing would have happened.
Okay, I'll do like one more and then you can do one if you want. Or do you want to read this one? You could read this one because I feel like you'd give it a bit of tenacity. Do you want that one there, Daniel? It's a World War II account.
Oh, I see why you gave me this one. Sorry if I butcher the pronunciation, but Daniel Inouye.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
He's the second longest serving senator in U.S. history, representing Hawaii. Big up.
Big up.
Since it gained statehood in 1959. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
And a World War II vet with this remarkable story to tell. On April 21st, 1945, Inouye was grievously wounded while leading an assault on a heavily defended ridge near San Terenzo.
Shit.
In Tuscany, Italy, called a Col Mastillo.
Oh, shit.
Mind you. The ridge served as a strong point along the strip of German fortifications known as the Gothic Line. Some say it was defended by Batman himself. It represented the last and most unyielding line of German defensive works in Italy. As he led his platoon in a flanking maneuver, 3 German machine guns opened fire from covered positions just 40 yards away.
Oh shit, 40 yards. Mama!
They were pinned to the ground. Inouye stood up to the attack.
They were just boys.
He was shot in the stomach.
Oh shit.
He clutched his fucking wound, almost to stop the blood flow. He ignored it and proceeded his attack. He destroyed the first machine gun nest with his fucking bare hands, with hand grenades.
Ripped it from the ground.
And then fire from his Thompson submachine gun. Holy fuck, that's the coolest weapon ever.
It is a cool gun. I do like the Thompson.
After being informed of the severity of his wound by his platoon sergeant. He wasn't even the fucking sergeant.
He wasn't even the sergeant. He was just a private running around just causing mayhem.
He refused treatment and rallied his men for an attack on the second machine gun position, which he also successfully destroyed before collapsing from blood loss. But it doesn't end there. As his squad distracted the third machine gunner, Inouye crawled toward the final bunker. We didn't even mention that he woke back up from blood loss.
Jesus Christ.
Eventually drawing within 10 yards. As he raised himself up and cocked his arm to throw his last grenade into the fighting position, a German inside the bunker fired a rifle grenade that stuck him on his right elbow, severing most of his arm and leaving his own primed grenade reflexively clenched in a fist that suddenly didn't belong to me anymore.
What?
Fuck, so he couldn't let go of this fucking live grenade, bro. Then Inouye's horrified soldiers moved to his aid, but he shouted for them to keep back out of his fear that his severed fist would involuntarily relax and drop the grenade. Fucking, while the German inside the bunker reloaded his rifle, Inouye pried that live grenade from his useless right hand, transferred it to his left. As the German aimed his rifle to finish the job, Inouye tossed the grenade into the bunker and destroyed it.
Man.
Perfect trajectory, son. He stumbled into his feet and continued forward, silencing the last German resistance with one-handed burst from his Thompson. He was like fucking...
One arm, man. That's fucking badass.
He's literally doing the Ben Stiller and Tropic Thunder.
Dude, that is badass.
It's not even fucking over.
It's not over.
It's not over. There's a little bit more. Right. And then he was wounded in the leg and tumbling unconscious to the bottom of the ridge. When he awoke to see the concerned men of his platoon hovering over him, his only comment before being carried away to gruffly order them to return to their positions, since, as he pointed out, nobody called off the war, boys. Fuck yes. Daniel Inouye.
I like this guy.
What a guy.
No, I like that guy. That was a guy.
Right, he didn't panic.
There were ups and downs there.
Literally.
You didn't panic. I think that's the key. Dude, imagine that. You get shot with a grenade. You're about to throw a grenade. Fucking throw it, and then you get blown up.
Literally,
you lose
bro.
your arm,
That's like
and then you look down.
Blood loss straight out of your
That's a
stomach,
fucking
bro.
movie.
Severed fucking arm, bro. Fuck me.
Okay, that was a good one. Well done. Good storytelling there. What's this? Audie Murphy, aka real life Captain America. He was 16 in 1942, weighing 110 pounds and standing 5'5".
So which part of it is real life Captain America? Was he like a steroid guy?
Yep, I don't know, yeah. That's the thing. He's 5'5". He's not growing, is he?
Yeah.
He was the shortest Captain America there is.
It reminds me of that guy in our school who was like quite small. So they gave him steroids to like boost his height, but it just gave him a 6-pack instead.
Who?
That kid in like 2 years above us who just went around showing off his like abs, but it's like, dude, you're a dwarf. Like,
what?
Do you not remember that kid?
Are you making that up?
No, it's a real story, isn't it? You'll know the look of him. You'll be like, it's that guy.
I think you're making that up.
Not making that up.
He applied to both the Marines and the Air Force, but was turned down by both. And then he eventually managed to get into the Army, where he passed out in the hallway through training, but insisted on fighting. Right? He contracted malaria in Italy. I'm waiting for the badass part. He contracted malaria in Italy, but then he was sent to France in 1944, where he found a German machine gun crew who was pretending to surrender and then shot his best friend. Murphy flipped shit and killed everybody in the gun nest, and then used their weaponry to kill every Nazi in a 100-yard radius.
Washington.
Shit, what are you gonna do when you rotate back to the real world?
Murphy, come close. Tell my mom.
Take this letter. It's always really blood-stained. Even when they didn't get shot there, it's like, just take this letter.
Tell my mama I fought a good fight.
Tell my mum I didn't cry.
I was brave, man.
Brave, man. Right. 6 months later, his company down to 19 men out of the original 128. Dude, that'd be rough.
Wait, what happened?
There's 128 of you in his company, and it's down to 19.
Ooh.
It's
like the end of the Mr. Beast challenge.
Yeah, Mr. Beast challenge. Who can outlast the Nazis? Right. So there's only 19 out of 128, and they were tasked with defending a critical region in France. The Nazis showed up with a ton of people. Murphy and his men sent out their M10s, which didn't do much. I think they're rocket launchers, maybe.
M10s?
Yeah, I don't know.
They were marksman rifles.
Are they marksman rifles? No, because they sent out, maybe they're mortars, but they didn't do much. They were about to be overrun when the skinny short kid with malaria ran up to one of the burning M10s, grabbed a machine gun. I don't know what the M10 is. We should Google M10. What's an M10? Hang on, let me look at this. I want to know what this is before we go on with the story.
My guess is marksman.
I need to visualize this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking.
Maybe it's artillery.
I think it's a tank destroyer.
It's a tank.
It's a tank. It's basically a tank.
It's an anti-tank.
It is a tank.
Yeah.
So it is a tank.
It's a retaliation tank.
Anyway, so right, okay, that makes sense. So he went over to a tank, and he fucking where is it? He went over to his tank, and he got a bunch of machine guns, and he started mowing down every enemy he could, and he kept going until they ran out of bullets. He went for an hour, and then walked back to his men as the tank exploded behind him. Bullshit. He added that himself. Like,
didn't even look at the explosion.
Like what happened here today, son? Well, I don't know much, but I definitely know it exploded as I was walking away.
Didn't even look at the explosion. Bro, you could see the reflection of the explosion in his sunglasses.
Wasn't even looking at it, yeah. Fucking, is that Willy's Wonderland? Yeah.
Nick Cage, man.
I was just like, there's some other guy who's like, bullshit. He was running away screaming.
He served for our country. You shut the fuck up.
My brother, sir.
I fought in Iraq.
Well, that was a good one. I like that. What's his name? Audie Murphy. I mean, he's not really Captain America. I mean, he was a 5 foot guy. Like, I don't know. He was 5'5" and skinny.
He was just like a small guy that was brave. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Okay.
He's more like a Wolverine.
Right. I've got one more. One more, and this is a good one. This is the one that I actually read.
Should we do the Watch Mojo honourable mentions when you do it before the last one, or should we just wait till it's done?
Do the honourable mentions. Go on, mate. Do your honourable mentions.
For real life people. I'm guessing your last one's Hugh Glass.
Can you get my beer?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, I skipped past Hugh Glass.
No, well, Hugh Glass is the Revenant guy. He can be an honourable mention.
Go on. You do.
He's a dude that he was going up along a riverside, wasn't he? And he was like hunting, and then he got mauled by a bear, and he had to like attach like rotting, decomposing wood to his back so the maggots would eat off the flesh before it would like become gangrenous. Yeah. Right? And he crawled like fucking miles down this riverbank to the next town, and like he lived off of like fish that he caught in the river whilst doing this, and this took over like a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think it was a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Fucking either way, mate. To survive that, it's just this willpower. Because there are plenty of points and moments like that.
Who's this?
You just give up. You know what I'm saying? You just let death take you. But he didn't. He fucking kept going.
Oh, what the fuck is that?
Alright, my next honourable mention.
Yeah.
Is
he's here. I know he's here. Right, I had a little bit mentioned about it. So this says while he was fur trapping and he was got by a grizzly bear and whatever, when he passed out and he woke up, his party had abandoned him. He had no thing. He used bear skin as bandage, and it lasted 6 weeks. That's what it was. It was 6 weeks through the new frontier of America, the frozen wasteland, and he managed to find some natives who sewed the bear skin on his back in place of his own skin.
So the version I've read was wrong.
Well, I don't know. This is just the version that I've read. We could both be wrong, but if you haven't seen the film The Revenant,
that's the thing with history, man. Like, it's all just like Chinese whispers.
This guy's just saying that he fucking...
Do you know what I mean? It's all Chinese whispers. Like, the story gets told so many times that eventually it changes.
I don't know about this. It's... Yeah. Right. You got more honourable mentions.
I've got his exact name. I think it's Tariq.
Tariq?
The Iraqi... Marine. He was like he was one of those translators for the Americans. There's a movie based off him with Jake Gyllenhaal. That guy. The one who got like, he fucking saved like a sergeant's life and got him all the way to a military bank.
That guy, like the interpreter.
The interpreter.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then he was like a fugitive of his own country. So the sergeant goes back into the country to save him. But like, it's the badass part is when he like fucking carries the sergeant who's wounded on a cart like all the way through the Iraqi mountain range. That's incredible.
It is a really good movie as well. Yeah, like tops really that guy. Movie. I know I'm talking about the movie there, but it is a pretty fucking good movie. True
story.
I don't know how much of it's true, but yeah.
Honourable mention again. That guy who carved his own pathway in a mountain using nothing but like a fucking rock hammer.
The 127 hours guy.
The 127 hours guy, that's a big shout. Carve his own.
Okay, welcome back. And his fucking the batteries. I don't know why. I know I need to get something that doesn't run off batteries. But
my next honourable mention.
Fuck's sake! Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah. Tom Cruise is a badass.
He deserves it.
He does all his own stunts. I like Keanu. We were talking about that earlier.
Keanu is a badass, but he's just like a nice guy, and that's what's so badass about him, in my opinion. Because it's hard to be a badass when you've got millions. I mean, it's hard to be nice when you've got millions.
Yeah. What do you think about like Arnie? Do you think he's a badass?
Come on! How is he not a badass?
Did you see that?
You try and do what Arnold did. Bill Burr said it, didn't he? Get famous for lifting weights, can't even speak the language, become a politician.
Yeah.
Marry into politics? What?
Politics? Yeah. No, there was that Charlie Day was on his Always Sunny podcast recently. Yeah. And he was talking about how that Arnold Schwarzenegger with the lines of cocaine. Do you remember that? Did you see that clip?
I don't know if I did.
It's like Danny DeVito. He said Danny DeVito told him that they went to this party in like the 80s, and everybody's names were spelled out in cocaine on this table, and he was like, there's DeVito's name, and then it was like Schwarzenegger. Apparently Arnold had like a huge grin on his face, and he was like, "Look how big my name is." It's like, it's huge.
Look how big his fucking nose is. He went to snort his line, they lost the table. God, that was a good one.
Okay, that was a good one. I'll give you that. Right. Okay. Should we say that's honourable mentions? Let's do this last one.
Yeah.
We got an important video that's coming.
I just thought of an actual real life badass though.
Oh yeah, go on.
Fucking Count Dracula, Vladimir the Impaler. Vlad the Impaler. dude drank the blood of his enemies. Like,
yeah, no, that's kind of cool. Yeah, Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
The real life
there's
Dracula.
people that we've missed, you know, like Hitler, Osama bin Laden.
The boy Hitler.
My boy Hitler. You know. No, don't quote me on that. That's awful, isn't it?
Don't call him the boy either.
The boy. Show me the boy. I'll show you whatever goddamn boy I want. Right. Do you know there was a time where I actually appreciated you around?
There was a time when I had a kid in my basement.
Okay, right. It's a little bit of a long one, but it is a good one. Leo Major.
Okay. Is this the guy who got
Leo
the back
Major.
after
Okay.
he cut them crap?
Okay, right. Sorry, it was a little bit blurry there. Okay. Can you talk into the mic? Whatever I said, whatever I did, I didn't mean it. I just want you back for good. I want you back. I want you back. I want you back for good.
That was terrible, Chewbacca.
Whatever I did, whatever I said, I didn't mean it.
It used to be everybody loves Ray. What's happening?
Okay, right. Leo Major. He was part of the D-Day invasion, and that day he killed a squad of German soldiers and captured a half-track that was loaded with intelligent information.
A dossier.
There's a dossier in here, Mickey. There's a dossier.
You're gonna make me choose between my country and my best friend.
Don't make me choose between... No, don't make me choose between my country and my best friend. Right, okay, so he killed a bunch of Germans on D-Day and all that. Anyway, quite a while later, he ran into 4 SS soldiers and he killed them all. However, one of them hit him with a phosphorus grenade, blinding him in one eye. He refused discharge, saying that as long as he could see through a scope, he had enough eyes.
They were using gas grenades.
Phosphorus. Yeah, so it's just like burn.
Yeah,
It's like it sticks to you and it's just like just burns you away.
That's fucked.
During the Battle of Schlide, Major single-handedly captured 93 German soldiers and was offered a Distinguished Conduct Medal. He refused, saying that the man awarded it, General Bernard Montgomery, was completely incompetent, so any award from him was worthless.
I mean, the dude was set up to be a badass from the start. His name's Leo Major.
Right?
Leo
Major. Starring this summer. Right? Keanu Reeves as Leo Major.
Played by fucking Matt Damon.
Matt Damon is Leo Major. Okay, so at the beginning of 1945, he was in a vehicle that was struck by a landmine. He broke both ankles, 4 ribs, and fractured 3 vertebrae. He was still conscious, refused evacuation. He didn't want to retreat. All right. Earlier that year, in April, his unit came upon the Dutch city of Zwolle. His commander asked 2 volunteers for a reconnaissance mission.
Did you say there was a Dutch city called Zwolle?
Zwolle.
Oh, I was going to say, it's like everyone there.
Z-W-O-L-L-E.
Yeah, I come from Zwolle because I'm big.
Right, so the commander's gone, we need 2 guys. Like 1917, we need 2 guys to do a mission for us. Right?
2 brothers.
Major and his friend Willie volunteered. They were expected to go see how many German soldiers were in the town. Shortly into their mission, Willie was killed and the plan changed. Major was after blood.
Yes.
He was sent into the streets, guns are blazing and throwing grenades while yelling in French to convince the Germans that the Canadians had sent their whole force into the town. He captured nearly 100 German troops who went into cover from fleeing from their cover. Later that night, he came upon the Gestapo HQ and he burned it down to the ground. He charged into the SS HQ later that same night and killed 4 and ran 4 more out of town. At about 4:30 a.m., he discovered that in the city belonged to the Dutch again, and the Germans had been run out. He received a Distinguished Conduct Medal for single-handedly liberating the town of Zwolle.
Yeah, that's badass, but it was very similar to one of the stories we've already said. Guy liberates town by himself.
No, we spoke about this outside before we started.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that's probably what you're talking about. Anyway, he wasn't done yet. In the Korean War, he was asked to lead a strike team of elite snipers to support American division. There you go. He went on to single-handedly take the hill and he had to hold it from 20,000 Chinese soldiers attacking their position. He was ordered to retreat. Instead, he held the hill for 3 days until reinforcements arrived. For this action, he received a bar for his DCM, which is the medal.
Yeah.
So
it's not like they're gonna give him.
He held off on a hill for fucking ages. Anyway, should we go?
Yeah.
This has been a fucking long episode, longer than we wanted to do. Thank you very much for listening. Make sure you go to the Instagram at Cancer and Culture and check that out, because it's a bit of fun, and I'm losing subscribers for some reason, or followers. I'm gaining subscribers on YouTube, so that's good. I hit 2,500 views on one of my videos, so I was quite happy with that. Appreciate that, everybody who's been watching that. Hi Rich, if you've been watching this. I know we didn't mention it, but you're one of our regulars. Hi Michael. And,
hi Jake.
Hi Jake.
And Andy's brother for some reason.
Hi Finn.
I hope he's not watching.
Fucking pussy.
Fucking Finn.
Faggot.
Haven't spoken to that guy.
No. He was alright. Like, you know.
I remember him being alright. Like prick.
Alright, we're gonna go. Tune in every Friday-ish. I know we had a few weeks off, but we're back, baby.
Yeah, man. I mean, his name's Finn and he can't even swim.